I've had this magazine knocking around in a junk drawer for about 40 years. And I finally got something to connect it to. Let's check it out. Serp Garage, Remington Model 521T, 22 caliber, chambered in short, long, or long rifle, interchangeable. Capacity is 6 in the box mag plus 1. 25-inch barrel, overall length 23 inches, weight about 7 pounds. It's a cock-on opening type, made from 1947 through 1969. This is a 1953. Our Remington barrel date code is PZZ 653. And the 500 series of Remington 22 bolt actions. We're going to check that out. It is true that I had this magazine knocking around for that long and just had absolutely nothing to do with it. And this fits in the Winchesters, believe it or not. It's got kind of like a similar design. The guy that we're going to take a look at some patents, as we always do. And the guy that patented this magazine, not the guy that patented the rifle, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm sure these guys all work together, but this patent probably carries through from Remington to Winchester, because this style of magazine, it's the same. The Winchester one is the same. It just has these locking tabs in a different spot. So if you took the Remington one and you cut the locking tabs into the spot where the Winchester one goes, it would lock into place and work. It actually does work if you just slide it in. It works, but it kind of moves around because, again, it doesn't lock into those grooves. And of course, I don't mean every Winchester rifle, but the ones where the mag looks like this and they say Winchester on the bottom. We've featured enough of those rifles. You could go back and check it out. Yeah, boy, where do we start with this one? Well, I had before this one 2 Winchester bolt action 22s. That's it. We had the Model 34, of course. We'll take a look. That is a tube magazine fed. Awesome 22. This is the one, if you remember, it has that weird lifter up there. That it's kind of like the guy that designed it from like the shell loading mechanisms in battleships. Awesome. These 1933 production on that one. That has absolutely nothing to do with this rifle here. And then we also have the single shot 514. This one is a 1958. These were kind of marketed together. Okay, they did kind of share a lot of like this. They shared like a lot of ad space. You see, you could go back, look on the video on my 514. And you'll see that there's a lot of stuff mixed in like this with, the different, this is different. It was just, this is what I wanted to show you. The 514 and the 521 kind of shared a lot of shelf space. Let's put it that way. The 514 is a single shot. It is different though. It is not the same inventor. This is a cock-on closing. As you see, this is where it gets charged right here. Closing is where it charges it. Whereas the 521, it is right there. It's cock-on opening. So again, if we close it, so it's decocked now, it's right there. Whoops. That's what charges it. is the opening. I want some camera destruction here. Yeah, the 514. Some of these, they're weird, I'll tell you. So this is the 514. These were the specs on it. This was the guy, P.B. Rutherford. He was the designer for this particular rifle and this particular design. So it is a different guy. And remember the Rutledge bore? Check this out. I'm not sure if the 521 entered into that area, but the early 50s. It's entirely possible. The Rutledge bore was this Mo-Skeet-O trap thrower. It's these little Ritz cracker sized things that you'd fling and you'd shoot smooth bore. Look, he's even got a patent for it here. Rutledge. It's the same. Oh, this is Rutherford. So I'm sorry, it's a different guy. F.J. Rutledge is the Mo-Skeet-O trap throwing patent, and I think it might have lasted into from the 514 into the 521 years. You might have still been able to get it. So if you find the smoothbore one, is my point. Pay careful attention because those things could be worth a lot of money. And it was very popular at one point. That Mo-Skeet-O, I was interested. I wanted to find one of those things and like play around with that and everything and see if I could like go to the range and be flinging these Ritz cracker sized things. But it was a very, very, very expensive, huge collector market for that stuff, and it's old and didn't really look like even a lot of it was functional or would stay functional for a long time. And there's got to be a reason why it died out. So I think it might have been like really hard to actually hit those things, so it would get frustrating. And I bailed on it. So what else we got here? Yeah, so these were made from 47 to 69, and they were part of a very interesting time. Let's get into it. So this is what I pulled out before. This is the 500 series of rifles. I'll talk about them a little bit here, but I'm not going to get too crazy. Show you some stuff that I have in books. So you could look at Bill Ward's Walnut and Steel 2. This is the second installment of this book. He starts off by talking about the 513S. The 513S was a very, very popular rifle for Remington. They talk a lot in here about the Remington Winchester battles and how many were produced, and there's a lot of information in here. But it's this guy, Ray Crittenden. He was some former DuPont guy or whatever. He's the one that stepped in. He's credited with designing this 500 series. I don't think he has the patent. I have patents on this particular rifle that do not have Crittenden's name, but he was the guy that formulated this whole idea of a family of rifles that were made. All of them were made. They were made from a low-cost receiver made from seamless drawn steel tubing, not from forged steel. So it was a cheaper way of making them. And again, so they talk in here in this book a lot about the 513 series, which is a more expensive rifle than this 521. But it was the stepping stone that led to the 521. But they were made cheaper as like a family of rifles, and all of these. So I think the 510 is a single shot. The 511, you know what? We're going to look in the Brownell's encyclopedia. We could break them down one by one. But these three, and then the 513 was the target model. And then after World War II, target shooting, according to this author here, target shooting really took off. And this was a big thing. They went from like the more sporting rifles to more of the target shooting rifles. And this 521T was made it used the same detachable box magazine as the older ones and things like that. as the other 500 series, but this one was made more affordable. So that was the big thing about this, is that it was called the Junior Target Rifle. And look, even in here, lots of information. It's excellent book, this book. But the cool things about it were it came with this sight. So this sight here was called, let me get out my 521 paperwork here. So this was the Lyman 57 RS, I guess would be receiver sight, for Remington rifles. This was for sale on a website, a company that's owned. They're out of stock. And this was $125 a long time ago. I'll tell you right now, I got this rifle for $3. And this you'll be lucky to find one of these for, 200 or whatever. You could buy up rifles like this and then sell these sights and pay for the rifles. That's how much these receiver sights are go for, like on eBay and stuff like that. This is made to attach to the receiver of the 41A, the 510, 11, 12, and 13, and the 521. So you could use it on any of the 500 series. And it does not have its peep hood or the mounting hardware, but this peep hood is really interesting. This peep hood is apparently like impossible to find. So that it would screw into here. So this isn't really supposed to look like that. It's supposed to have the disc on the back. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of one that I find that has it. But a lot of people, they wouldn't want to look through that teeny little hole, and they would unscrew that and discard it and use this more like a peep sight. And that's how I got this one. But look at how cool this micrometer sight is. It's definitely pretty awesome. I like these. They don't, me, I scrounge at gun shows, so I'm not up in the, higher end kind of stuff. I just kind of take whatever's knocking around at these gun shows, and very rarely do you find one with these complete, at that price. So let's dig in a little bit more with some info. Bolt has dual locking lugs. You can see them in there. That's a big plus, something that these Remingtons were good at. It has a cocking indicator back here. Not a loaded chamber indicator, but a cocking indicator. You can see when we decock it, you can see that fall. When you cock it, it opens up. It has a little bit of red paint there on the back. American walnut stock with a high comb target type. The high comb is the target type. High comb. Pistol grip and a beaver tail forend with this 7-position adjustable sling swivel thingamajiggy here. And it came with this, this is the original sling. And this is a 1-inch leather sling. Awesome sling. And that's why this thing was like so worth it. It was all there. And not only that, normally it would come with so it comes with this Lyman 57 RS aperture rear sight, and it would come with just a blade front sight. But this has the optional. This was an option, the optional Lyman globe type front sight here. You ever see how these things work? They I don't know if I'd be able to actually tilt it in a way where you could see to sight in through it, but this part here actually unscrews. And then inside there's like inserts that you could put in there. So the inserts could be like different, different aperture looks. It could be like a circle or a little blade or who knows what. I mean, there's probably like just a bunch of them that all fit in there that you could get like different ones. So I like it. Even has that option. It is like a highly optioned model because this dovetail cut into here with this blank put in there. This dovetail is even pretty rare. It's not on a lot of them. So if you wanted to take the receiver sight off and put just a regular Remington sight in here, you could do that too. So for 1953, it's a pretty highly optioned one. See, here we have patent pending. We're going to get to that. So by 53, they just said patent pending, but this went on till this rifle was sold until 69. So what I was able to do is, I'll throw a picture of it up here quick. I was able to get a picture of a later model that had the patents on it. So cha-ching, now we could pull up the patents and take a look at who actually designed this thing. I think you guys might be a little bit surprised because the name has come up before. But let me just get through the rest of my info here. This is another one of these videos I feel like I'm all over the place. Had a nice big black iced coffee, and I am ready to rock. Let's see. Total production, 67,000. And 2/3 of the production was during the first 2 years of 47 to 48. So chances are, if you find one of these, 2/3 of them were done during that period. And then they slowed down production. Retailed for $36.95 in 1949. And closer to when this 1953 one was made, they were $54.95 in 1957. So we could look at a little bit of inflation right there and how much they cost. These were considerably more expensive than similar choices. However, less expensive than other Remington options. You know what I mean? They did make this a cheaper version. Didn't have quite the heavy barrel that the others had, but it's not you see junior. A lot of people would see like junior special or whatever. What was it called again? Yeah, junior special. It's not small. This beaver tail forend here is nice and fat. This fits right to my shoulder beautifully, and it feels comfortable. It's one of those ones you could keep on your shoulder and chamber, and it feels right. Feels nice and solid. And let's take a look at the patents. So the patent. Yep. C.C. Loomis. C.C. Loomis was around forever. I mean, this guy was back, what is it, like the 121? He was back there, like definitely a bunch of pre-war 30s stuff knocking around. This was a 1931 patent right here for a rifle that comes out in 47. So I don't know what else. Might not have been just this one rifle, this design. It's obviously a tubular magazine here, see? So it's not the box magazine version of it. This is basically, you can see it's just the bolt, the receiver, how it's picking up the round, the extractor, the cocking mechanism, the firing pin. This is what this patent here, the 1,908,035. And that is on the barrel of the gun. And then there's this one here, 1,913,840. This is also on the barrel of the gun. This is 1932. And again, we have the text here and everything. This looks like it's some improvements. Interesting. But weirdly enough, and then also there's in 1935, so the site itself, KJ Lowe. KJ Lowe sounds like a rap superstar. KJ Lowe. He was the designer of the aperture sight here and how this thing functions. KJ Lowe jumped on the bandwagon for that. And we have a 1939 patent here from Mr. Lowe for, will you look at that? There's the magazine. Magazine and some stuff with how it's feeding here. I mean, you really get into the text and read, and then look even here, the tubular magazine, there's some improvements here. 39. He got in there. He got his 2 cents in. And again, you read these texts and you learn how to decipher exactly what it is that that this guy did. What do we got here? Here's another one, 1939. What's going on here? It was like a lifter mechanism. Interesting. So we had a couple of hands in the pot there. Mr. Lowe, And Mr. Loomis, man, Loomis been around. He has been around. And you know this other guy, what was his name again? That really that weird, the guy from DuPont. We're gonna find that. What was his name? That guy, he was in on this Crittenden. This guy been around a long time in the gun world, man. This guy was in on the 1903 A3, like a lot of interesting stuff, and he actually was one of the designers of the Remington 870, which that looks really good on a resume. You know what I mean? So this guy, how full of crap is this guy I've never heard of? Question can be answered right there. This guy was no joke, and he was the guy that put together like the series of rifles. It's more than anything else. It's kind of like a marketing idea of like how to sell a whole family of rifles instead of just one particular model. You'd come out with like a whole family of rifles. So you get one for the farmer that just wants a pest control rifle. Schools that want to buy rifles to use as target rifles for like a shooting club, or just all kinds of stuff like that. Like you'd have a whole family for you'd be able to cover all bases. Pretty cool, right? And what do we got left? Let's get this out of the way. Get some more books. Let's get out some more books. This will cover the whole book thing. We got the NRA Guidebook to Shoulder Arms. I love this. See, this book, let me see if I can find. Where do I got it? They redid. I don't know if I've ever shown you all these, but they have one like this, Guide to Handguns, right? And it's Firearms Assembly 2. This is Firearms Assembly 1. I went around like a nut, like looking to find these books, and I got like really good, because they're always dogged, they're old. And I got like really good copies of it and everything like that. Then like a dummy, I didn't even realize that they have a more modern book, the NRA, that looks like this. And it's basically the same information. It's put together a little bit neater. It's definitely a little bit fatter. It has everything, so you don't have to go through different separate volumes. But when I want to look, I still can't help but pull out the old book. I just want to smell the mustiness of it. And here's the 521. The NRA is kind enough to give us a nice exploded diagram here. Some information, parts list, and ensure there's no cartridge in the chamber prior to doing whatever it is that you're going to do. The NRA will always be Johnny on the spot to let you know that it is not good to work on a gun when it's loaded. And this is absolutely true. Speaking of loading, should we go to the fire? You know what? Let's just finish where we're at. And then we'll get to the, we're eager to get to the realistic snap caps and show you how this thing loads and feeds, because it's awesome. So here's the Encyclopedia of Modern Firearms. Love this book. Brownell. This is the Bible. It really is. Let's get to boom. The 500 series of bolt action Remington 22s. Make sure this book is glare central. Let's make sure we're doing all right. So this is the single shot. This is the Score Master, the 511, the Score Master. 22 caliber short, long, and long rifle without adjustment. See, like, I like to read things like that. Like this, it denotes that at some point, with some rifles, you would have to maybe do something to shoot different. Like you had, like with the Mossbergs, remember you had to like adjust the magazine to shoot the different. You know what I mean? So that's what they're talking about. They're like, hey, you don't have to adjust it with us. And look here. Can you see here? Different grades. Grade A with open sights. P is with receiver, peep rear, and blade ramp front sights. That would be the same. I would assume it's the same receiver peep that is on ours. And look, SB, smooth bore, no rifling, front bead sight only. It's set up like a shotgun for the, what was it called again? The I always forget the name of that crazy trap shooting stuff. The Rutledge Boar and the Mo-Skeet-O. What an awesome name. It's like Mo-Skeet-O. 5'10", 5'11", Scoremaster, 5'12", Sportmaster. See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about with the family. You want sport, you want score, you want target, sport, or score. And then you got the 5'13", the Matchmaster. Think about who's making these names. Target Master, Score Master, Sport Master, Matchmaster. This was a monster. This thing was a awesome target rifle. I mean, this was where they were laying all the cards on the table. And if you notice, this magazine here in the parts diagram is 1010. That's what's great about this Brownells book, is you could match the part numbers. See, they will show the same magazine for a different rifle. Why are they not showing the magazines here? Oh, here, 1010. So you see if it's the same part number, 1010, and then over here it's 1010. And then when we go to the 514, that's a single shot, of course. When we go to the 521, the magazine, 1010. So that's how we know this magazine carries through that whole family. This magazine that knocked around in my junk drawer for 40 years could have fit in any of those rifles. You know how many gun shows I went through where I was just looking at dogged stuff. And the receiver sight here is 17814. Do we have a receiver sight back here? That's 17814. Let's see, which one said it had the receiver sight? This one did, but they don't have it here. Unless this is the receiver peep sight. Then it would be. It does look different. Not at 115. See, that's a different number. Yeah, it is different. So I guess when the 521 came out, this particular receiver sight, this Lyman 57 RS, was new to this rifle. I'm pretty sure. Looks like it fits the others, but it does say it fits the others in that ad. You can never trust an ad, though. And then, of course, we move into like semi-autos. We have a 550. Don't we have a 550-1 up there on the channel? But that's where the bolt actions end for us here. And yeah, realistic snap caps. Come on. Let's get in there. Let's load up the mag and show you. I'm so excited about these. We haven't done a 22 in a long time, and these haven't been around for long. These 22s, the realistic snap cap 22 cals. Love to get them out here. I have an opportunity to show you guys how these function. Let's load up the mag that was knocking around in my junk drawer for 40 years. So yeah, go to realisticsnapcaps.com. Take a look at what they got on the website. They have all types of calibers. They're all inert. You could safely cycle these things. That one's got a little bit of a dent. I'm going to skip it. 6 rounds fit in here. You could safely cycle these things without any worry of any issues, because they are completely inert. And they have all different calibers, pistol calibers, big bore rifle, whatever. And put an order together, and when you check out, use coupon code, one word, MilSerpGarage, 10% off right there. Can't argue with that. In this day and age, with this economy, 10% off of anything is welcome, right? So the mag, it's held in like a spring-loaded tab right here. This doesn't look like it would be a good magazine retention type thing. Like here, sticking with the empty one. Like for instance, it has one of these. It doesn't look like a very, what's the word? I can't think of the word. It doesn't look like it's set up to be very precision. You know what I mean? Looks like a big wide this looks like really floppy in here. You're like, this is one of those ones that's going to be weird. But no, if you get it right, if you just put it right in there and you push, it really clicks right in there nice. And look at this, no movement. It's an excellent design. This guy, what was his name? KJ Love. KJ Low. Excellent magazine design, I must say. Just that clip holds it really good. It works really well. And, it's important because the magazine is integral to picking up the rounds and loading them. You know what I mean? It's very important that it be exactly in the right spot and not move around and stuff. And this system works great. I'll show you how smooth this one is. Every time I say that, then it always feeds crappy. See how it's porpoising, but that's normal for these. See, because it straightens it right out. You know what I mean? It works really well. Ejection is like very, very positive. Extraction is with those dual extractors. And again, watch, see it. Nice, right? That's a nice design, man. I love when they feel like that, the 22s. Look at how smooth that is. Even the last round. The last round is always the one that's the pain in the neck, but that was beautiful. I got snap caps. I got the snap caps that falling. I lost one. I always lose one. So yeah, where are we going now? Where do we go from here? Let's show some shooting footage. So what was it like to shoot it? Very, very smooth. Very, very fun. When I first looked down the sight, the peep sight, without that aperture thing, without that thing with the really tiny hole, I was a little like, oh, I'm going to have to get one of these. This is this huge gaping hole. But it was very easy to line up the front globe sight. I think if it would have been the blade sight, it might have been a little bit more difficult. But with the front globe sight, it worked out perfectly. Yeah, I'm still looking for this snap cap. It's buried in the deep, dark recesses of dog hair and toenail clippings. So where was I? Oh, the shooting. It's it really, really sighted well. It felt smooth. It shouldered like a large rifle. I'm a big guy, and if I could pick up one of these 22s and shoulder it comfortably, where I don't feel like I'm, like shooting a hobbit's rifle or something, then they did a good job. It's one of those ones that might not be the biggest 22 out there, but it's comfortable for a man. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Felt nice and comfortable, and I really enjoyed the evening plinking with it. It really was a lot of fun. I stayed at the range like an extra long time, and just I didn't want to leave. And I just found myself just setting up targets and just really enjoying the evening. And that's when you sit back and go, like, you know what? I did my filming. I just need to, because a lot of times when I go to the range just to get this footage, it's my goal. It's just to go to the range and get this footage. It's not really like it's like, business or pleasure kind of visit, either or. But I remember when I took this one there, I was done with my filming. I just really kicked back and put some music on and just had fun for like an hour, just plinking around with this thing. I really did enjoy it. It's and I noticed that there's some guns that just, you're like, I'm not ready to go home yet. I don't want to go. And this was one of those. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna take this thing apart? Let's just take a look inside. Why not? We haven't done that in a while. Listen, can't stress enough. You got to get one of these kits that has like a bit like this. These bits, see, like we don't always need this one for this kind of takedown, but you see this screw? It has that like it's routed out like a U in here, and if you use a straight bit, I'm telling you, you're gonna chew up the edges of this screw slot. Look at this screw slot. It's only very, very slightly messed with. Not perfect, but just imagine even if you had one that was absolutely perfect, you wouldn't want to use a thin screwdriver on that. Trust me, that's what goes them up. You could see how like I'm gonna point this out to you exactly. Let me hold on. Let me get something to point with here. I'm going to show you. I'll use my tweezer. So take a look over here. You can see here, 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 and here is where that little bit, a teeny bit of damage is. You see it, right? See how there's like a little indent right there, and there's a little indent right there. That's from a screwdriver that's too small, turning in the slot without hitting, and then it hits corner to corner instead of the whole slot being filled with screwdriver with bit. That's why you get a bit like this. It's fat. It's even got that U shape where it literally will just stand up inside even a big fat screw like that. And that is the bit you use to take a screw like this out. Because you know what? This screw, it's one screw that holds the whole rifle together. There's actually some of the criticism on this rifle is that the days of one screw holding the rifle together were over. At this point, they were concentrating more on accuracy and bedding these 22s nicely into the stock, as opposed to needing to take one screw out to be able to like put it in a duffel bag to get on the bus, because public transportation, they say a lot of those takedown guns were done that way because of how not that many people had their own car and didn't want to get on a bus or a train or a trolley or whatever you were transporting yourself with back in like the 30s or 40s. You did 20s, 30s, like that. You wouldn't want to get on with just a rifle in your hand, Oh, we didn't take the mag out, so the gun kind of pulled away from the mag, but that's okay. It's nice to have two of these. With these kind of guns, you always just end up with one that sat in my drawer for a reason. And look, they're identical. I mean, it's definitely, it's pretty cool. So the design there, it's like, look, just this family of guns was done like this for cost-saving purposes. And this is just a block here that's kind of wrapped around a pipe. It's a block wrapped around a pipe. That's what it is. And to take these bolts out, because the receiver sight would actually be in the way, there's a button back here where when you press it, you can actually raise up the receiver sight. I don't think you have to take it out all the way. I think you only need to go like to about there, right? And then you can take the bolt out. Let's take a look at the bolt. There's our firing pin channel. We're hitting dead 12 o'clock position on the primer. Dual extractors here, and they are not fooling around. Pretty cool. Lola is barking. Doesn't bark often. I wonder what's going on. And yep, press that and we're right back down again. There is some kind of like something that they did up there to bed it. I don't know if this was done afterwards or at the factory, but I was always very careful not to mess with that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get a microfiber here, and I'm going to get my fingerprints off this because I'm not going back in when we're gone. So I just want to clean it. And we get the trigger right in there, and boom, we're back. Hold it together nice and tight. Use our fingers here as much as we possibly can. There we go. Yeah, we get the screwdriver involved. Yeah, these screwdriver sets, trust me, they're worth it. You don't want to slip on these screws. You don't want to, is it threading? It's not even threading. There we go. You don't want to gall these screws. You want to keep them looking nice. Any damage that's done to them, you want to be able to look at it and be like, well, what are you going to do? You know? That's how it came to me. I don't know about you, but I don't want to look at it and be like, look at what I've done. And this was the original one for the rifle. I can tell because the one that I had wear on both sides. Don't know why that would be different than this one that only has wear up front. So I know which is which. I love the way that mag goes in. I know I forgot a million different things. What are you going to do? Story of my life, the 521T. 1953 vintage. And it's one of the good ones. It's only my third Remington bolt action 22. And fills in the 500 series niche pretty nicely. And I'm happy with it. Thanks for tuning in, and see you all next time.